York City, where the best in our league are chosen to represent us at the national championship. This year, Adiela and Esther will be representing us in California. And Esther today is going to present a part of the speech she gave a few weeks ago, in which she won $5,000.
Okay, so this is just a part of the speech I gave. The full-length speech is 5 minutes, but I'm just going to take parts of it. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Do what you can with what you have where you are." Where we are as a country today is scary, especially in terms of race. Michelle Alexander reminds us in her book, The New Jim Crow, that we live in an era of unrelenting police brutality against unarmed people of color. Alexander labels today as the new Jim Crow, but during Theodore Roosevelt's time, Jim Crow was law. But he took it upon himself to reform an America that endorsed institutionalized oppression. He made this clear in February 1905 when he said, "We cannot afford to take part in the oppression of any man who, against crushing disadvantages, has struggled upward to a position that would entitle him to the respect of his fellows if only his skin were of a different hue." Roosevelt worked with what he had to combat racism. Howard Zinn notes in A People's History of the United States that in the years between 1889 and 1903, on average, every week, 2 African Americans were lynched by mobs, hanged, burned, and mutilated. In other words, what Roosevelt had was a deeply racist America. And this is why he once said that combating racism must necessarily be a slow process. Do what you can with what you have where you are. But where Roosevelt was is very different from where I am. His debilitating asthma kept him back at some points in his life. But for me, the color of my skin has been a constant barrier throughout mine. As a daughter of Mexican immigrants, living in today's society means that people like me are systematically not given the same opportunities as other people are. Why is it that hundreds and thousands of women and children are being sold into sex slavery in nearby Guanajuato, Mexico, just a few miles from where my parents were born? Why is it that even within our own borders, families like mine are being ripped apart by our broken immigration system? And why is it